Saturn in Scorpio. In this video, I'm going to be discussing Saturn in Scorpio, everything you need to know about having this placement and how to master having Saturn in Scorpio. All right, that's what we're going to be discussing in this video. Now, before I begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you've liked my previous videos and after you watch this video, you like this video and you've gained value from this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button, help me grow the channel, and we can continue to go on this astrology journey together. All right, let's begin. So now when you have Saturn in Scorpio, this is similar to having Saturn in the 8th house. So what this means is that if you were to read up on Saturn in the 8th house descriptions and study Saturn in the 8th house extensively, you will find that a lot of that information resonates with you and it applies to you as well. So even if, let's say, you have Saturn in another house, like you have Saturn in the 3rd house, that's fine. So you still study that. But you also want to make sure you study Saturn in the 8th house because that information applies to you as well, because Scorpio rules the 8th house, okay? Now, this person, this Saturn and Scorpio person, this person, in order to mature and become a true adult, they have to master what Scorpio represents. See, Saturn is all about what you need to do to mature and become a true adult, all right? And let's talk about what Scorpio represents. Scorpio is associated with sex, intimacy, shared resources and leveraging resources, transformation, healing, transmutation, and matters involving research and investigation. So in order to mature and become a true adult, you have to master these matters. You have to master all matters involving sex and intimacy. You have to master the concept of having shared resources and leveraging resources, such as like debt and inheritances and working with banks and so on and so forth. You have to master the whole concept of transformation, transforming into a different person, healing others, transmutation. You have to master matters involving research and investigation. Okay, so this is very important because mastering these things is a big part of your maturity. Now, this person, when living out Saturn and Scorpio in a healthy way, all right? So this is when you're living out Saturn and Scorpio in a healthy, high vibrational, productive way. You're disciplined sexually and you're not afraid of intimacy. You master all things involving shared resources and leveraging resources. You master all things involving transformation and healing, and you're a brilliant investigator and researcher. So this is when you're living out Saturn and Scorpio in a healthy way. You're disciplined sexually. You're not afraid of intimacy. You master shared resources, leveraging resources. You master transformation and healing, and you're a brilliant investigator and researcher. Now, this person, when living out Saturn and Scorpio in a negative way, you have no sexual discipline. You make costly mistakes that involve shared resources with others, or you're afraid to leverage resources and do business with others out of fear of loss. You shy away from intimacy out of fear of being vulnerable. All right. So this is when you're operating at a low vibrational negative way. It's you have no sexual discipline. You make costly mistakes that involve shared resources, or you're afraid to leverage resources, and you shy away from intimacy out of fear of allowing yourself to be vulnerable with others. All right. So you want to make sure that you're not doing these things. You always want to operate at a high vibration and live out Saturn and Scorpio in a healthy way, like I discussed before. Now, there are fears and insecurities surrounding. Saturn has to do with your fears and insecurities and the fears and insecurities that you have to overcome. So you have to overcome fears and insecurities that have to do with intimacy and sex, and you have to overcome fears and insecurities that have to do with shared resources that involved others. Okay? So whatever those fears and insecurities may be as they apply to your life specifically, it's all about overcoming these things. Okay? The father is seen as Saturn tells you how you saw your father. So when you have Saturn in Scorpio, you saw your father as a man that is Scorpio-like. He's controlled, sexual, and intense. He seeks the resources of others, and he learns to leverage resources to make money. Okay, so this is how you saw your father. You saw him as a man that's controlled, sexual, and intense, and a man that seeks the resources of others, and he learns to leverage resources to make money. Okay. Celebrity example that also has Saturn and Scorpio: Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg. All right, now with these two, it's very obvious to see how this played out with these two, because these two absolutely mastered the concept of shared resources, because they're both very wealthy men. And how they became wealthy is they learned how to leverage their resources and continue to build a wealthy empire. Okay, there's two ways to make money. You can make money on your own, like for example, like with Saturn and Taurus. With Saturn and Taurus, you don't want to involve other people. You want to create your wealth on your own. But see, Saturn and Scorpio is all about learning how to create generational significant wealth, but you do it in a way that involves others, and you learn how to leverage what you have. All right, so we absolutely see it with these two. Okay, and that's Saturn and Scorpio. I hope you gained value from this video. I hope you learned something. Like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what you think. Thank you for taking the time out to watch my video. Take care.